Of the Golden Goose, I commend this bill to the House. Thank you, Mr Speaker.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. The Honourable Dr Jonathan Coleman.
Mr Speaker, what a shocker of the bill. This would have to be the most stupid bill that will be brought to this House during this Parliament. I just cannot believe that the Green Party have the audacity to bring this here as a members' bill. It's like something that they've cooked up over a joint out the back of the Green Party conference. It's spliffonomics, dackonomics. That's what it is, dackonomics.
Point of order, Gareth Hughes.
Sir, I take offence at the allegation that the Green Party is engaging in criminal activities.
No. The member needs to withdraw that comment. Jonathan Coleman.
Sorry, what am I meant to withdraw, Mr Speaker?
You made a derogatory comment and the Greens have taken exception and asked you to withdraw.
I withdraw and apologise.
No, we're moving on. Dr Jonathan Coleman has the floor. Point of order, the Honourable Clayton Crosby.
Well, I think there also is a convention, sir, that there's an apology.
No,
if anybody knows about blowing smoke in somebody's face, it's that member over there.
That's not necessary. Jonathan Coleman.
Well, look, I'd just like to see the Green Party go out to their core constituency and tell them that they're opposed to the smoking of marijuana, because that really would be really interesting. But what I can say, we won't call it anything derogatory. What we'll call this is yokelnomics, because basically, if this bill were to be passed, we would be going back to the yokel economy of 11th century Europe, where people pulled ploughs with oxen, they ran around with pitchforks, and they farmed little subsistence plots. And for these guys, the Greens, to think that you can seriously go into an international forum and say that we are going to ban land sales to all foreigners, it's a joke. But what's really interesting about this, Mr Speaker, is that this is a vision of what you would get if we ever had the misfortune to have a Labor Greens government. So you would have Russell Norman as Minister of Finance, and obviously this is his pet project, and he would be rushing this through. This would be part of his 100 days. Ban land sales to all overseas interests. Ban all sales of sensitive land. And Clayton Cosgrove and David Parker would have to sit there in that cabinet with these green crazies and go along with this stuff. Because if they didn't, they would be out of government. So this is the price that New Zealand is going to have to pay. It will be the Luddite vision of the Greens. And they know it. They've been badly embarrassed over this. And I reckon Russell Norman, I don't know where he cooked this up. I've given you my thoughts on it. But I reckon he would have been thinking ever since this went into the members' ballot, you know, I really do hope that bill doesn't come out, quite frankly. I really do. Because actually, it was a pretty damn stupid bill, and he's going to regret having put it in there. But what's been interesting over this debate, we had the snap debate very foolishly called by the Labor Party yesterday, and they got completely thrashed in that, because the actual fact is they have changed their position so many times on overseas investment that it's been an embarrassment. Because don't forget, the Labor Party, they actually introduced the Overseas Investment Act in 2005, which now this bill today, which Labor is supporting, effectively repeals. So they are completely over a barrel on this. And poor old David Parker, he is really taking one for the team today. Big time. Because he signed off the sale of thousands, hundreds of thousands of hectares of land. Absolutely incredible. When he was the Minister of Land Information. It is absolutely incredible. But I can tell you, he is going to be the next Speaker, and he is going to get up and tell you that Labor is backing this Green Bill. And they will be... They are backing it. And they are going to be getting up and saying that they do not support the sale of land to any foreign interests at all. It's absolutely critical. That's what he will be doing in a moment. And then he is going to have to get up, and all the national speakers are going to put to David Parker's record as Land Information Minister when he sold hundreds of thousands of hectares of land. The Labor government, they sold 665,000 hectares of land in their time, 380,000 hectares in 2006, most of it signed off by David Parker. And they got in this very difficult situation yesterday where Clayton Cosgrove, I believe, he was saying, oh, our position has evolved over time. And it continues to evolve, and it's evolved in the last 24 hours, because yesterday they were saying in that debate they were in favour of the sale of some sensitive lands. They just weren't in favour of the sale of the Crayford Farms. Today it's evolved further. They're now not in favour of the sale of any sensitive land to any, xenophobic, any foreign interest. But that's what this bill is, Mr Speaker. This is blatant xenophobia. This is, well, you know, it's an embarrassment, a national embarrassment that Labour and the Greens are backing this bill in this House. And I really hope New Zealand First are going to see sense on this. And, you know, I mean, I know they have a different position to us, but actually they are sensible, practical people, and they will see the madness of this absolutely ridiculous bill. But David, look, Clayton Cosgrove, he doesn't agree with this bill. These guys are just laughing at it. They know that it's a joke. In actual fact, he's a sensible, centre-right man, Clayton Cosgrove, and actually he's quite a cuddly little fellow, but, you know, he just hates this. He hates this stuff, eh? And he is caught in such a terrible position because he knows if he wants to get back into government, he has to agree to rubbish like this. Yeah. What's that? Putting the sword into me. Oh, well, if that's all you're living for, if that's all you're living for. But see, Clayton Cosgrove, look at the face of that man, because that is the face of a man who truly hates himself. He does. Torn apart with self-hatred. He's lost his seat. He's back here. He's in the purgatory of opposition. Yeah, badly. He lost it. Oh, he got the kick all right to Kate Wilkinson. Absolutely. And now he's so desperate. He's so desperate. The only leverage he can get in this parliament is by putting bills in and out of the ballot and talking to people in his constituency who, you know, aren't coming to see him as their electoral MP, and forwarding legislation of dubious benefit and then having to withdraw it. But that's another issue. But no, look, you can look at my return any day of the week. Now back to David Parker. Well, this is what David Parker signed off. Hancock Natural Resources Group Incorporated sold land to an American company in October 2006. David Parker sold 240,000 hectares of sensitive forestry land to Americans worth $1.5 billion. And in a moment, he's going to get up and say that he agrees with this crazy green bill. He also signed off to Earnslaw One Limited, a Malaysian company, almost 14,000 hectares. That was in March 2008. $117 million of sensitive land. But I tell you what, we've got Raymond Ho over there. Now, Raymond's a good guy, sensible guy, good representative for the Chinese community. He has got to go back to his community over the weekend and explain why the Labour Party is supporting xenophobic anti-Chinese legislation. And I feel for Raymond because he's signed up to the wrong party there. These guys here, they are going to take us into a very difficult space internationally, the Green Party and the Labour Party. They are going to take us into a space where New Zealand diplomats and politicians are not welcome in an international forum because we will be the people, if this bill passes, who don't want foreign investment, who say that foreigners are unwelcome in New Zealand. And I tell you what, the only losers of this legislation, if it were to pass, and thankfully it won't, but I'll get on to that in a moment, will be the New Zealand people and the New Zealand economy. And I can tell you, what will happen if this goes through, there'll be less capital coming into New Zealand, there will be less investment, there will be fewer people coming here to put capital into our economy, and the economy will not grow. And Russell Norman, the Australian, who now doesn't want Australians to be able to buy land here, he says this bill today is going to be defeated by an evil coalition. Evil coalition. That's the National Party, United Future, and the ACT Party. Well, I've got to say, I'm very proud to be part of this coalition, part of this government, because we've got sensible economic growth policies which are actually seeing us get ahead. It's about looking outwards. It's about earning our income by trading with the world. You can't trade with the world if you say, actually, you're not welcome to come here and buy land. We cannot go down the path of a yokelnomics that Russell Green Norman wants us to follow. And Russell Norman, this bill you're putting here is an embarrassment. There's no intellectual grunt or input that's gone into this. Russell Norman is a man who's better than this bill. He's brighter than this. He's severely misguided, an unreconstructed Marxist, but this is not his best work. And he needs to get up and explain how the heck he came up with this, because he knows that this should never see the light of day. It's a big mistake, a political stunt. He's completely going to embarrass David Parker, who now has to get up and explain while he now opposes land sales, having signed off hundreds and thousands of hectares of them to these foreign interests. And I just think this bill is a joke. It's actually a waste of parliamentary time. It should have been dead and buried. But it is a very serious warning to the New Zealand public. If you vote Labour,
sorry to interrupt the honourable member. His time has expired. The Honourable David Parker.
Mr. Speaker, of course, the National Party